Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's GTA video, we're going to be talking about the rumor that has been swirling over the last 24 to 48 hours that GTA 6 is going to be taking place in Canada. We'll investigate where that rumor began and see if it has any merit, and we'll also hear from Rockstar Games insiders on, again, their thoughts on GTA 6. All right, so this all began the other day when David Hayter, who is a Canadian-American actor, voice actor, screenwriter, director, and producer, ended up putting out an interesting tweet. And you guys probably know him for his voice of Solid Snake throughout the Metal Gear video game series, but he's also done work on X-Men and Watchmen. He's a very, very famous actor, voice actor, been in a lot of video games and whatnot. So on Thursday, he ended up putting out this tweet, hashtag GTA VI, and then hashtag Toronto. And when I took this screenshot, it had almost 4,000 likes and over 600 retweets. And so many people saw this and said, okay, was the location of GTA 6 just confirmed by David Hayter? I mean, all the things make sense here. He's a video game voice actor. Could he be involved in the game? Did Rockstar give him the green light to say that Toronto is going to be the location? And this kind of made me dive into how Toronto would work as a location in Grand Theft Auto. Now, in case you guys don't know, I live on the East Coast of the United States, so I have a generally good idea of where Toronto was, but I wasn't like 1,000% sure. So I looked it up, and it's definitely on the east side of North America. In fact, it's actually pretty close to New York. I would say that's like the closest big city that it's to in America. And so I started thinking, okay, that kind of makes sense because we know that Rockstar has Liberty City, which is based off of New York. So I think it would be cool if Rockstar in the next Grand Theft Auto game, which again, there's rumors that it could be going back to New York, if it also included another massive city like Toronto. So I immediately thought, okay, that kind of works. That's super doable. There's also some very convenient things that make Toronto work very well with GTA 6. Like, for example, one nickname for Toronto is apparently the Six. I kid you not, apparently Toronto was given that nickname by musician Drake, who is actually a Toronto native who based the nickname on the shared digits of the 416 and 647 telephone area codes that reference the 6 districts that make up the city of Toronto. And in the gaming world, we abbreviate Grand Theft Auto as GTA, but in Toronto, GTA is called the Greater Toronto Area. So it's kind of convenient that you've got those two things that coincide so well with Toronto being one of the cities that GTA 6 could be featured in. And on the subject of Drake, as I was doing some research into that, apparently he's actually kind of been connected to GTA in a funny way as well. So a couple of years ago, he actually did this photo shoot where he posted these images that literally look like GTA loading screens. I'll show you guys some examples right here. I mean, if this had like the Rockstar art sort of filter on top of it, I would be totally convinced that that's a Grand Theft Auto loading screen. So it is really funny that all these things sort of coincide together. But that was the rumor that was going about. And then a couple of hours later, after all of that confusion from David Hayter, he actually put out a follow-up tweet. So he said this, to avoid an internet incident, ... this was just a suggestion. So case closed, problem solved right there. And the reason he was suggesting Grand Theft Auto 6 be in Toronto is, number one, he seems to be a fan of the GTA series, but also he's from Toronto, which would naturally make sense. You want to see your hometown featured in a massive video game. So that's kind of cool. So anyways, really reviewing the situation in its entirety, David Hayter, the tweet that he put out with hashtag GTA 6 and then hashtag Toronto, if he really was working on the project, if he was one of the characters in Grand Theft Auto 6, that would probably be one of the biggest slip-ups of all time, especially if he wasn't supposed to reveal that. That obviously meant he would have been breaking a non-disclosure agreement, and that obviously wouldn't have been good as far as his relationship with Rockstar. So it's really not surprising that the tweet he put out was simply merely a suggestion due to it being his home city, because breaking those non-disclosure agreements have some serious consequences to them. So again, not surprising that a professional voice actor like that didn't let anything slip up. And this again is no confirmation to say he's actually working on the project, but I did find it to be interesting. And we have also heard from Rockstar and their executives many times saying that Grand Theft Auto has always been about American culture. I mean, this is just one example, but Dan Houser did an interview with the New York Times a couple of years ago, and they asked him, is it fair to say that your games are satires of American culture? And he said, I think it's fair to say that they are set in a world that is a satire of American media culture. And during an interview with the website The Guardian back in 2013, Dan Houser was asked, did you ever think about exploring the UK further in the GTA game? Lots of people remember the GTA London titles quite fondly. And he said, I think for us, my gut feeling is GTA London was cool for the time, but games were more limited then. These days, I think we would love to set a game in the UK set in London, whatever, but I don't know if it would be a GTA game. I think there are plenty of great stories we could tell about the UK, great environments to showcase, great gameplay mechanics that could have a UK bent to them. I just don't think that would necessarily be UK. There's so many games we'd like to make that we just don't have the bandwidth to make at the moment, but we always think, well, the future is long and varied, and that's what the future's for. Speaking for myself, and normally I'd be as militant about saying we as much as possible, because it certainly isn't only me, but my own personal feeling is that GTA is America. With this game, I think we're very happy with the location. It lets us do something iconic. So even though Dan Houser is no longer at Rockstar, I still think that sentiment is going to follow them around, and that Grand Theft Auto is usually and will probably be a parody of American culture, of American cities, and just America in general. So now really giving my personal opinion on the situation, I think GTA in an area like Toronto would be pretty cool. Now, I've never visited there, I've certainly never lived there, but I have had a handful of friends that do live there and have visited there, and they say it's a really cool city. And it would be cool to see Rockstar's twist on that, especially if they made it like a snowy area, sort of like a more permanent North Yankton that has like a more fully fleshed out city, one that isn't just used for like 2 missions in game. And again, one of the complications with that is Rockstar might have to make it close by to a city that they are using primarily in the game, and Liberty City would probably be the closest. But again, who knows what's going on with GTA 6's location, and who knows if there's going to be multiple different settings. That's the really rumor and report so far, but again, nothing concrete has been heard from Rockstar. But if there is any update to this story, I'll be sure to let you guys know for sure. And the last thing we're going to be talking about in this video today comes from Rockstar Games insider TezFunds2, who said something interesting on the GTA 6 speculation and discussion thread on the GTA forum site. So he said this: I don't go along with the idea of a hired gun or a freelance criminal. I feel like it won't let the next title shine or turn it into a masterpiece. Sure, it depends on how the story goes, but the idea itself sounds basic. Like, imagine there's this huge criminal organization who, if you were to go against, would make an interesting story. But instead of that, you simply work for them. At the same time, you do work for other organizations too. It's like the story makes you feel like you have freedom over your choices, but in reality, you don't. You would end up in the bad side of a certain gang in favor of being on the good side of another gang, which will force you into situations you don't have control over. While if you were to have your own organization, you decide the situation you end up with. So what I think Insider TezFunds2 is going here is he kind of wants our characters to be an entrepreneur of sorts and not really tied to any particular group or entity, which is something I think Rockstar has done a good job of in all the GTA titles. Like in Vice City, by the end of the game, Tommy ends up creating his own criminal organization syndicate in San Andreas. CJ obviously works with his other gang members, but really isn't tied to any particular person. Nico Bellic is like the perfect example of a lone wolf in Grand Theft Auto 4. And in GTA 5, because you've got the three main characters with their different stories, they aren't really attached to anyone other than themselves. So I agree, and I don't expect this from Rockstar. I think what he's saying here is he doesn't want like a cookie cutter story. And honestly, I think Rockstar certainly has the benefit of the doubt. I definitely have faith in them that whatever the story is for GTA 6, it will probably be a very enticing one. And it will likely turn the game into a masterpiece, which, again, I'm sure it will. But anyways, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of both topics we discussed in this video today, like GTA 6 location taking place in a city like Toronto, and what do you think the story is going to be like? Let me know what you're thinking in those comments down below. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you want to stay up to date with all the latest GTA and Red Dead Redemption videos that I'm doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.